You're listening to Four Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast.
Today is Tuesday, February 17th. I'm Maria Lazignoli.
And I'm Johnny Connor. Thanks for listening to Four Things to Know.
Our top story today. The Minnesota Legislature is back in session. Republican House Speaker Lisa Damith gavelled in the first floor session of the year. Same thing in the Minnesota Senate, where Democratic Senate Majority Leader Erin Murphy gavelled in to the start of the Senate floor session as well. Now, we saw brief floor sessions today. Then, both chambers adjourned so the legislature could all go to a special remembrance ceremony. This is the first time the legislature has been in session since last June's killing of House Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark. State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette were wounded that day as well. Senator Hoffman is back at work in the Senate today. He said he's carrying Melissa's spirit with him and is moving forward, not because it's easy, but because it's right. Lawmakers have passed a joint resolution today honoring the lives of Melissa and Mark Hortman. There were also speeches from Governor Tim Walz, Senate Majority Leader Murphy, Speaker Damith, and House DFL Leader Zach Stevenson, where they recognized Melissa and Mark's service. There was a reception for staff and guests with cake and bread, Melissa's favorite items to bake. There were also therapy dogs in the state capitol today, a nod to the Hortmans' work with Helping Paws in Eden Prairie. That's where their dog Gilbert was trained before becoming the family dog. Gilbert was also shot last June and died. The House remains tied equally between Republicans and Democrats, and the DFL maintains its one-seat majority in the Senate. So, lawmakers will have to work together and compromise in order to get anything passed this session.
Number 2 today, new data out of Ramsey County shows a new approach to youth crime may be working. According to a newly released report, the initiative is reducing repeat offenses by shifting some cases out of court and into community-based programs. Barrett Leone has a closer look at those findings. You will also hear from community leader and restorative practitioner Brenda Burnside.
Since 2021, Ramsey County has used a collaborative team, including prosecutors, public defenders, law enforcement, community members, and they're using that team to decide whether youth crimes can be handled through what they're calling a restorative justice program compared to the traditional courtroom. And looking at the numbers, it's working. So this program is called Reimagining Justice for Youth Initiative, or RJY. Researchers with the University of Minnesota Medical School analyzed data before and after the program was implemented, and they found youth whose first assault case was resolved through community accountability had a 66% lower risk of reoffending compared to similar youth processed in traditional court. For felony and gross misdemeanor cases, that risk dropped by 50%. Supporters say it's about addressing root causes, not just punishment.
What happens when a kid can't read? We teach, right? When a kid can't swim, we teach. But when a kid doesn't know how to behave, do we teach or do we punish? So we have to think about, how are we presenting choices to young people? And do they even have choices?
Now, Hennepin County has a similar initiative that involves youth diversion. Ramsey County Attorney John Choi says that this is a 10-year effort and they will continue to release their findings annually. And they also plan to expand this program in the future.
Number 3. In the shooting death of Renee Good, today is the deadline for the federal government to turn over information to the Hennepin County Attorney's Office. At the beginning of February, we told you the Attorney's Office submitted 2 official demand letters for this information as part of its investigation into the killing of Renee Good. These letters are formal requests for evidence such as firearms and cartridge casings, names of federal agents involved, medical records for agents who were injured, and their statements. As of right now, the federal government says it will not conduct an investigation into Renee Good's death.
Your fourth thing to know today, Maria, we have some bad news for the Minnesota Twins. Yes, they just started spring training in Fort Myers, and the team's best pitcher, Pablo López, likely out for the season.
Oh, no. What happened?
The Twins announced he has a tear in his right elbow. That's obviously his throwing arm. He will likely need Tommy John surgery. That's according to the team. He will get a second opinion soon, but it really does not look good. He's been the opening day starter for the Twins the past 3 seasons, and they don't really have high expectations at all this year. And now to take away their best pitcher, really, really tough stuff.
Oof, I'm not a doctor or a baseball player. What's a Tommy John surgery?
It is surgery in his elbow. That's the name of, I believe, the first player to ever have that type of surgery a long time ago, former pitcher. So, yeah, it's pretty common now, but it would wipe him out for the whole season.
For the whole season.
Terrible.
Oof, too bad.
Those are the 4 things to know today. Now let's check in on our next weather forecast.
Hi, I'm next weather meteorologist Lisa Meadows. As we head into tonight, temps dropping down to 38, a little bit of light rain. Heading into tomorrow, a little bit of light rain transitioning to light snow, mainly to the north of the metro or far northern Minnesota. Temperatures will drop after your Wednesday.
And now, here's more to know.
CBS News senior correspondent Norah O'Donnell is highlighting the American heroines who helped change the course of history. And for this extended More to Know segment, I had a chance to talk with Norah O'Donnell about her upcoming book called We the Women, The Hidden Heroes Who Shaped America.
Norah, thank you so much for being here. It's such an honor to talk to you about this book.
Maria, I'm so excited to talk with you about it.
I mean, you have covered history as it happens for decades. So what inspired you to really step back and tell the stories of the women who helped shape America's history?
Well, we're celebrating America's 250th birthday. Can you believe that? And I thought about highlighting the stories of women in an effort to lift up their voices, lift up their stories, and look back at American history to see how far we have come. And, you know, as we celebrate America's birthday, what we're really celebrating too is the Declaration of Independence. And those 13 words are among some of the most important in American history. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. And really the journey of America over the past 250 years has been living up to those ideals, whether it was through the abolitionist movement, the civil rights movement, the suffrage movement, in order to get women the right to vote. And what I learned in writing this book about women in history is that, as Harriet Beecher Stowe said, women are the great architects of society. So I hope people are inspired by this. I hope people learn something, because these women had a lot of grit and determination, and it really gave me a lot of hope about the future.
Speaking of learning something, I mean, there are 35 profiles of really remarkable women in this book. Was there one woman or story that you uncovered that completely changed your understanding of American history?
I mean, I have to tell you, Maria, so many of these stories about important women in history, I did not know about them. I didn't learn about them in school. In fact, the National Women's History Museum says only 15% of what is taught in school focuses on the achievements of women. So here's an example, for instance, on the Declaration of Independence, there's actually a woman's name on it. I did not know that. It's the first official printing of the Declaration of Independence, which has the 56 signatories, including John Adams and John Hancock. We know those names, of course, right? Those founding fathers of America. Well, there at the very bottom is the name Mary Catherine Goddard. She actually, in 2 weeks, got all the signatories together and actually printed the Declaration of Independence. And yet her name and her story is buried in history. So we tell her story in this book, and I think it's a really important part of history, because we think a lot about the founding fathers, but there were many women who helped birth this nation as well. And so that's part of excavating these stories and to share them with everyone. So I'm really excited about coming to visit you guys too in Minneapolis to talk about this book on stage with Sharon McMahon, and so everyone can learn more and hear more about these really inspiring women.
We're so excited to have you and the tour coming to Minneapolis. We know Minneapolis is a city with a history of strong civic engagement, as we've seen especially in the last 2 months. What do you hope readers here take away from these stories?
That getting involved, community involvement, is incredibly important. To never give up the fight. I mean, that's the founding of this country, right? With the American revolution, to gain independence from the British, right? The values that are not only in the Declaration of Independence, but also in the U.S. Constitution and then the Bill of Rights, all of those are what make this country so wonderful. And those were not easy to come by. And the history of America is a history of struggle, a history of a civil war, of battles to live up to those values in the Declaration of Independence. I mean, I talk about in this book, of course, the struggle for women to get the right to vote. I mean, the Declaration of Sentiments, which led to the Seneca Falls Convention in 1848, right? That was the first ever women's convention. It would take then another 72 years of women marching, being jailed, being beaten until they got the right to vote in 1920 with the 19th Amendment. So the point is that nothing has been easy in American history, that the things that we value are worth fighting for. And that is what is in the stories of each of these women in this book.
Well said. Norah O'Donnell, thank you so much. It was an honor to speak with you about this, and can't wait to see you in Minneapolis when you get here for your book tour.
Thank you, Maria. Yes, I will be there March 10th at 7 p.m. with Sharon McMahon, and I think there's still some tickets left, although it might be sold out. I'm not sure. I'm hearing it's almost sold out, but I hope to see everybody then.
And as of this recording, there are still tickets available for Norah O'Donnell's event on March 10th. Her book is coming out on February 24th, and you can order it wherever you get your books these days. I don't know, in store, online. It's everywhere. Audiobook, yes, exactly. Kindle. But I am excited to read this one because I know there are several women that she highlights that I've never even heard of. And these people that we haven't even heard of in history classes, just really shine a light on them and their accomplishments.
Very cool. And it must have been fun to talk to Norah, too.
It was so cool. I was like giddy and starstruck. I mean, of course, it was over Zoom, but still, she's an icon and a journalistic hero. So, yeah, it was really cool to talk to her.
Good work. Good work. All right, let's get back to sports. Not that I really want to, but this is better news, Maria. USA women's hockey, we know they're playing for the gold medal versus Canada on Thursday.
Yes.
And if you want a watch party, maybe with a beer, you're in luck. There's a party planned in the Twin Cities. It's going to be at Shamrock's Bar and Grill in St. Paul. So puck drop Thursday at 12:10. That would be a fun place to go if you're looking to get out.
Absolutely. Hey, if you have the afternoon off, you know what? Take it off. Take it off to go watch the USA women's team get gold because I'm manifesting it.
Listen, they're in a really good spot. They've dominated all tournament, but they still have the biggest one in front of them. U.S. men's, they play in the quarterfinals tomorrow. They will either play Slovakia or Sweden. Now back here to the state of hockey, Blake girls hockey back in the state tournament. It ends a 9-year drought for them. They were last at state in 2017. That's when they rode a streak of 5 straight state championship game appearances, but now they're finally back to the tournament. Senior forward Mackenzie Williams says it's pretty exciting.
Gosh, I think that's amazing, and I think to be a part of it, especially coming in kind of late, I think it's amazing to, experience this too. I think everyone's just really excited to experience like what the state tournament has to offer.
It's always a fun time of year in the state of hockey. Every hockey player dreams of going to state.
Yeah, exactly. And what a cool time to mirror the Olympics, to have some of the girls that grew up playing hockey in Minnesota out there representing Team USA.
It's time to take a breath with your Daily Bright Spot.
You know what? Let's stick with hockey, okay? Of course, Minnesota, the state of hockey. And a man in Richfield did what so many hockey dads do. He built an outdoor rink. It started 3 years ago, and they called it Miniucci Arena. Isn't that cute? So they had lights and boards and even signage, and the rink just kept getting better and better. Ivan Ayala is that hockey dad who built the rink, and he's also a therapist. He says this rink has been exactly what the neighborhood kids have needed.
Kids get direction all the time, and they need to have unstructured play, and that's real play. And so they get out here and they get to make up their own rules, they get to come up with their own games, and they have a lot of fun. They get a lot of touches on the puck.
Who do you pretend to be when you're out here?
Kaprizov.
Kaprizov?
Yeah.
One day maybe, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, Maxie interviewing that kid there Who, when you were out, skating on the ponds or a flooded rink, Johnny, when you were a kid, who did you want to be?
Marian Gaborik was my favorite player growing up. He's Slovakian, ironically, so that's who the U.S. could play. But yeah, he was one of the Wild's best players ever. Now it's definitely Kaprizov, so that would be my pick now. But that was so funny. If you get the chance, go on our website and check out the story, because Maxie and this little kid are talking right next to the boards on the ice. The kid just has a smile on his face. It's great.
It's so great. And the dad is right. I mean, it's an opportunity for kids to just get out of the house, stop looking at your phone, and just, play with the puck.
Enjoy. Yeah.
Enjoy the winter while it lasts. Exactly. Thank you so much for joining us here on 4 Things to Know. With Johnny Connor, I'm Maria Lizignoli. We're here with the news you need every weekday afternoon by 3 o'clock.
Listen to 4 Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.